everybody, welcome to Showalter Guitars. We're back here, Steve. We've become quick friends, and there were 4 guitars that he said, hey, I think we should talk about these 4. So we picked 4 amazing guitars. Now, Showalter Guitars, if you missed the first video, I'll put a card up here so you can see just more about these guitars. They are astounding, amazing, wonderful guitars made using materials that grew up here in the Shenandoah Valley. As a material that grew up in the Shenandoah Valley, I find myself particularly endeared to guitars that come from the kind of trees that I got to play in, climb, grow up around. So there's black walnut, there's locust, there's Osage Orange, there's, did I say walnut? There are amazing materials in these guitars. So there are 4 guitars. The first one I want to show you is right here. This is so impossibly cool. So this is a sycamore top, and on the back and sides of this guitar is Osage Orange. Now this is an OM, an orchestra model. This is a 25.4 inch scale length, right? Steve's right here. I'm Steve. You won't see him, but I see him. Anyway, so this is a 25.4 inch scale length, an amazing, comfortable guitar. This is the kind of guitar that seems like it's captivating most people's attention and just their playing style. Dreadnoughts are big and boomy. These are comfortable and inviting, and you can sit kind of on a couch or you can play them much more comfortably. So anyway, Osage Orange back and sides, sycamore top. Let's hear how it sounds. I've never played another guitar that's Osage Orange. I've only played a few guitars that are sycamore. So this guitar forces my brain to think outside the box, but it's warm and mid-rangey and throaty. It's not overly bassy, but this size of guitar wouldn't be a dreadnought level of bassy, but it's warm and full and attentive, and it's really fun to play. The neck carve on this is probably my favorite of the neck carves in this range. It's a soft V, and I love this kind of mustardy yellow to the Osage Orange. Now this will fade. We're going to show you a guitar here in a minute that will be much more what this would look like in 5 years. It mellows out, it gets darker in color, but it's not as kind of mustardy bright yellow, but it feels and looks very cool. Now this finish also, this is just an oil finish on this one. The other finishes are a little different, but we'll talk about those as we get them. But this is, what serial number is this? This is serial number 95, and there will be links in the description down below if you're interested in this guitar. These are all for sale, and you can buy this actual guitar. If you find a guitar that isn't quite to the specs that you're looking for, if you want something specific, something custom to you, get in touch with Showalter Guitars. Steve is amazing to work with, and you will get a really, really cool guitar. So this is the Sycamore and Osage Orange OM. The next guitar we need to talk about is this double O. Now this is a sycamore top, and this is a locust back and sides. I have never played a guitar made of locust, and I'm very excited about this. It has this very kind of pale, toasty color that is really beautiful and really captivating. Yeah, I'm very curious to try this guitar. There's a, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piece neck with another V profile on the neck. Grover open gear tuners. This is a very cool and playable guitar. This double O is a 24.9 inch scale length, and let's hear how it sounds. 82. Now Locust, again, never played a Locust guitar, never played a Sycamore top with a Locust back and sides, but I'm familiar with this size and scale length of guitar, and it feels warm, and there's a lot of mids in it. There's not as much bass or low end. You wouldn't expect that out of a guitar of this size, but one thing I found is that my brain kept telling me to want to play here, between the 5th and the 9th fret or so. Very comfortable. I love the neck shape of this guitar. Now, V-necks are polarizing. Some people love them, some people don't love them. But for me, they just make sense. They feel ergonomic, they feel comfortable, and they just kind of come alive under your finger. So this would be a really fun guitar. And the Locust is very beautiful. It's cool to look at. And that's the thing with these. I mean, they're just, every one of them is unique and unlike anything you've ever seen or played. And you could not help. This is the kind of guitar that would beckon, summon the guitar nerds from wherever you're playing, at church, a bar, wherever you are. People will come and be like, what is that guitar? Tell me about that. Very cool. If you know me, and if you know this channel, you know that there are few things that stir my affections more than a spicy Florentine cutaway. So this is an OM. This is a Sycamore top. This is black walnut, a beautiful black walnut back and sides with this spicy Florentine cutaway. This is serial number 90. This was made in 2021. I love how you can see the serial number and then what year it was made. It makes a lot of the, less Googling when you're like, what does the serial number mean? It's very easy. There's also really beautiful figure in the walnut in the neck of this guitar. Another soft V-shaped neck. There's a 25.34 scale length, the same thing as the other OM, the Osage Orange. And let's hear how this guitar sounds. This guitar is definitely different to play than the others. The V-neck is a lot softer and it feels more bassy, more low end, and that's probably more with the walnut. Now, I've noticed there's this kind of crystally high-end thing that happens with walnut that doesn't happen as much to my ears and in the room here, and I'm curious to hear what you think and hear through the microphones and then sending it out to YouTube. Make sure that when you're watching this video, I know, and I'm guilty of it too, I watch a bunch of videos just on my phone, but to get the most out of what we're trying to capture here, probably should have good computer speakers or good headphones or listen to a Bluetooth speaker or something with a little more bass and low end. Now, this guitar has a lot more bass, a lot more low end. It feels very articulate in the bass notes. I also noticed there's more clarity that I can hear in the room between each individual string. And that's just a cool thing that I found is a little more, it's a little more consistent with walnut. One of the characteristics of walnut as a tone wood is that it gives you more clarity between individual notes, but it's pretty anecdotal, it's pretty subjective to my perspective. But this is a really cool guitar. Serial number 90 on the website, link in the description down below. Years ago, I was helping a friend who's a carpenter and a sculptor here in the Valley. And he called me early in the morning. There was this huge storm called a derecho. It's basically a horizontal tornado. And it ripped up a bunch of trees. And there was a giant Osage Orange tree that came down on a friend of a friend's property. And it was across the road. And the power company was done. But they needed to get this huge hunk of Osage Orange out of the way. So my friend Zeke called me. Zeke, he's the one that helped me make that walnut guitar hanger in my studio. But Zeke called me and said, hey, can you help me? I've got a chainsaw mill. I need to go slab out this giant Osage Orange. That's the first time I ever learned how to use a chainsaw mill, and it's terrifying. And but it's also the first time I ever remember seeing Osage Orange fresh as it's cut, and it's this crazy mustardy color. You saw it on this guitar, and it starts out vibrant and really intense just in its color and the grain. What's so cool is this is a parlor guitar that has Osage Orange on the back and sides, and as you can see, it mellows out. It starts out bold and mustardy and very vivid, and then it seems to kind of work into this almost cherry looking back and sides. It's very cool. And this guitar, as I looked at this whole wall of incredibly cool guitars, this seemed to be really captivating. So this is why we picked one of these. This is also the smallest guitar that we're playing today. This is a proper parlor size guitar, and it will sound, I'm not going to tell you how it sounds. Let's play it, and you tell me what you hear, and then we'll talk about what I'm kind of seeing and feeling and hearing in the room here with it. It sounds entirely different. It's smaller sounding. It definitely has a lot less bass, but small guitars and student guitars get accused of the same thing, but I don't think it's the same thing happening in the room. Small guitars, small and cheap student guitars, think like a Little Martin, a Baby Taylor, a Taylor GS Mini. Think that style of guitar, you expect it to sound small and boxy. Those are the words that they use. With this, it feels like if you took the voices of professional singers, bass, baritone, alto, tenor, soprano, you have these different voices in which they fit into different ranges. Now, all of them, they may have similar power, but they won't feel the same in the same room. So it's unfair to compare the power of a bass against the power of a tenor or an alto. And so I think with this, the voice that comes out of this guitar is not deficient, but to say, oh, I don't like it because it's not bassy, it's just that this would sit in a different place. Now, where I think that this guitar would come to life would be in a mix when if you are recording something and you have big boomy dreadnoughts, or if you have an upright bass, this guitar would sit in a place in the mix where you would hear it. It would be articulate and sweet and thoughtful. And so I think that's where this kind of guitar would live. It's also incredibly comfortable to sit around. Now, some of the specs on this guitar, this is a TORREFIED SITKA spruce top. It's actually the only, because SITKA spruce doesn't grow in the Shenandoah Valley. There are red spruce. I don't think there are any red spruce around in the valley anymore. But anyway, all that to say, TORREFIED SITKA spruce on the top, and then this is Osage Orange on the back and the sides. This guitar is lively and sweet. It's really comfortable to sit down with, and so that's why when you look at the kinds of artists that have played this kind of guitar, think about Sting. He's probably the most popular, and his music has tons of bass and tons of stuff happening in that lower frequency in which a big boomy dreadnought would just get in the way and would get muddy. So that's why this guitar has a really cool place, and that's why it was on an essential list when we looked around at what 4 guitars do we want to show off from Showalter Guitars. This one just has to be on the list because it's just so cool, unique, and it sits in a different place. I think that there's beauty in the complexity and diversity of kinds of guitars, and so all of them bring something that would work really well for certain musicians and wouldn't work for other people. But anyway, very cool. Well, thanks so much for checking these out. There will be links in the description down below for all of these. This is an amazing thing. I still cannot believe that 6 weeks ago, I did not know Steve and I had not seen these guitars. as someone who deeply loves music, friendship, guitars, and the Shenandoah Valley, I think that this is just so cool. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe down below and follow Showalter Guitars on Instagram and Facebook. I'll put all the links down in the description down below. Thanks everybody. See you later.